If your garlic is sending up curly scapes and the lower leaves are starting to turn yellow, do not panic. This is the exact moment when many gardeners make the harvest worse without meaning to. They see yellow leaves and think the garlic is sick, so they add nitrogen. They see dry tips and start watering every day. They loosen the soil too deeply, pull off leaves, pile on compost, manure tea, wood ash, whatever they have on hand. And right when the garlic is trying to size up its bulbs, all that extra help can do more harm than good. Hi friends! Today we are going to talk about what it really means when garlic sends up scapes and the bottom leaves start yellowing. I will show you what to do, what not to do, and how to avoid ruining the crop during one of the most important stages of the season. Here is the first thing to understand. When garlic scapes appear and the lower leaves begin to yellow, that does not automatically mean disease. Very often, it is a normal part of the plant's life cycle. At this point, especially with fall-planted hardneck garlic, the plant is shifting its energy. It is no longer focused only on growing tall green leaves. Now it is putting serious work into the bulb underground. And this is not the time for panic. This is the time for a few careful, well-timed steps. First, do not be scared by a couple of yellow lower leaves. This is one of the most common mistakes I see. A gardener notices two yellow leaves near the bottom and immediately thinks, "My garlic needs nitrogen." So they reach for urea, fish emulsion, blood meal, chicken manure, compost tea, or a high-nitrogen fertilizer. But at this stage, garlic usually does not need more nitrogen. Nitrogen pushes leafy growth. It helps build green tops, stems, and foliage. That is useful earlier in spring, when garlic wakes up and needs to grow a strong set of leaves. But once scapes show up and the bulbs start swelling, the goal changes. Now we want firm cloves, strong wrappers, and a bulb that will store well. If you give garlic a heavy nitrogen feeding now, it may look better for a while. The leaves may get darker, taller, and more impressive. It can feel like you saved the crop. But then harvest comes, and the bulbs are smaller than expected. They may be loose, poorly wrapped, or they may not store very long. Why does that happen? Because you pushed the plant back into top growth when it needed to focus underground. So the rule is simple. Once scapes are forming and the bottom leaves are starting to yellow, stop the nitrogen. No urea, no strong manure tea, no fresh manure, no heavy feeding meant for leafy growth. So what can you use instead? Ideally, get a soil test at least once. In the United States, your local county extension office is often a good place to start. A soil test tells you what your soil actually needs, instead of making you guess. That matters because American gardens are very different from one region to another. Some gardens in the East may be more acidic. Some soils in the West and Southwest are already alkaline. Some beds are rich from years of compost. Others are low in potassium or organic matter. Without a soil test, the safest approach is to stay moderate. Do not think if a little is good, a lot must be better. That is not how garlic works at this stage. One simple option is wood ash, but only if your soil is not already alkaline. Wood ash adds potassium, but it can also raise soil pH. So if you garden in an area with high pH soil, or if your soil test already shows alkaline conditions, skip the ash. If wood ash makes sense for your soil, use it lightly. Think of a thin, even dusting over moist soil, around half a cup to 1 cup per 10 square feet. Scatter it, gently scratch it into the very surface, and water it in. Do not dump handfuls right next to each plant. More is not better here. Another option is potassium sulfate. Use it according to the label and do not increase the dose. The goal is not to force more leaf growth. The goal is to support bulb development, clove density, and good wrappers. Keep it calm. Keep it moderate. Garlic does not need drama right now. Second, remove the scapes at the right time. A garlic scape is not just a cute curly stem. It is the plant's flower stalk. The garlic is trying to reproduce, and that scape pulls energy away from the bulb. If you leave the scapes on, you will still get garlic, but the bulbs are often smaller than they could have been. So, when should you remove them? Do not wait until the scape is tall, tough, and straight. The best time is when it has formed a clear curl but is still tender. When you see that curly loop, that is your signal. You can cut the scape with clean scissors or pruners, or you can gently snap it off. The important thing is not to yank it upward with force. If you pull hard, you can damage the false stem, and that creates a wound the plant does not need. Cut or snap the scape above the leaves. Be gentle. We are not doing surgery. We are simply removing the flower stalk without stressing the plant. And do not check the bed just once and assume you are done. Scapes do not always appear on every plant at the same time. You may remove them from half the bed today and then see new ones a few days later. During scape season, walk the bed regularly. And yes, you can eat the scapes. They are great in pesto, stir-fries, scrambled eggs, soups, and roasted vegetables. So do not think of this as waste. Think of it as helping the bulbs and getting a bonus harvest. Third, do not drown your garlic because you feel sorry for it. When lower leaves start yellowing, it is natural to reach for the hose. It seems obvious. Yellow leaves must mean the plant is dry. But lower leaves can yellow simply because the plant is maturing. Garlic is moving energy from older leaves into the bulb. Water should be based on the soil, not on panic. Do a simple check. Do not judge only by the very top of the soil, because the surface can dry out quickly in sun and wind. Check a few inches down. Around 3 to 4 inches deep is a good place to look. Take a little soil in your hand. If it holds together and feels slightly moist, do not water yet. If it crumbles into dry dust, the weather is hot, and you have not had rain, then water is needed. But water at the base, not over the leaves, not like you are watering a lawn. And definitely not until the bed turns into mud. A slow, deep watering in the morning is usually better than frequent, shallow watering. In hot, dry regions, you may need to water more often. In humid climates, heavy clay soil, or rainy summers, you may need much less. The dangerous situation is when garlic is already moving toward maturity, the lower leaves are yellowing, and the bed stays constantly wet. Wet soil, thick foliage, and poor airflow can lead to rot, loose bulbs, and poor storage. So remember this. While the bulb is actively sizing up, garlic should not be bone dry. But it should not sit in soggy soil either. As the crop gets closer to harvest and more lower leaves dry down, start backing off the water. Not because the calendar says so, because the plant and soil are telling you. Fourth, do not cultivate deeply around garlic. Here is another mistake that comes from good intentions. A gardener sees crusted soil after rain and grabs a hoe. They start loosening the bed deeply and close to the stems, thinking they are giving the roots air. But garlic roots are shallow, and when the bulb is forming, Every damaged root is stress. Instead of quietly filling out the cloves, the plant has to spend energy recovering. You can loosen the soil, but only shallowly. If a crust forms, lightly work between the rows, just the top inch or so. Stay away from the stems. Do not dig around each bulb. Even better, use mulch. A light layer of straw, untreated grass clippings, shredded leaves, or finished compost can help keep the soil more even. It reduces crusting, slows moisture loss, and helps keep weeds down. But do not pile mulch against the stem. Leave a little space around each plant so the base can breathe. This is one of those moments where doing less can actually help more. Fifth, do not tear off yellowing leaves. Some gardeners see yellow lower leaves and start removing them. They think those leaves are old anyway, so they must be stealing energy. But that is not how it works. Even a yellowing leaf can still be useful while it is not completely dry. The plant can pull remaining nutrients from it and move them into the bulb. Let the garlic decide when that leaf is finished. If a leaf is completely dry and dead, you can remove it if needed, but do not strip green-yellow leaves just to make the plant look cleaner. And definitely do not remove a bunch of leaves for airflow. Each garlic leaf is connected to the way the bulb and wrappers form. The more carefully you treat the top growth now, the better chance you have of getting firm bulbs that cure and store well. Sixth, pay attention to where the yellowing starts. This part is important. If the lower leaves are yellowing gradually from the bottom up, that is often normal maturity. Especially if the upper leaves are still green, the stem feels firm, scapes have appeared, and the plant is standing strong. But if the tips of all the leaves are yellowing at once, the leaves are twisting, spots are showing up, the tops are wilting, or the plant pulls out of the ground too easily, that is a different situation. Then you need to look more closely at the roots, the basal plate, the bulb, moisture levels, and possible pests or disease. A normal picture looks like this. The bottom leaves are yellowing. The upper leaves are still working. The stalk is firm. The garlic is anchored well in the soil. A warning sign looks like this. The whole plant suddenly turns pale. The leaves collapse. The base feels soft. The bulb smells bad or shows rot. The plant lifts out too easily. That is why you should never treat garlic based on one yellow leaf alone. A yellow leaf by itself does not tell the whole story. You need to look at which leaf is yellow, when it started, and how the entire plant looks. Seventh, start preparing for harvest before it sneaks up on you. Once the scapes are removed, nitrogen is stopped, watering is under control, and the bed is stable. The next big job is timing the harvest. Dig too early, and the bulb may not be fully mature. The cloves can be soft, the wrappers thin, and the storage life poor. Dig too late, and the bulb can split open, the wrappers break, the cloves separate, and that garlic also will not store well. So, how do you know? Watch the leaves. The lower leaves will gradually yellow and dry. The upper leaves should still have some life in them. When several lower leaves have dried, but a few upper leaves are still green, it is time to start checking. Do not dig the whole bed right away. Lift one test bulb. Look at it closely. Are the cloves well formed? Are the wrappers firm? Does the bulb feel solid, not watery? Are the wrappers still holding the cloves together? If yes, you are getting close. If the bulb is still soft, the wrappers are thin, and the cloves are not clearly formed, it is too early. If the cloves are already spreading apart and the wrappers are splitting, it is late. Harvest soon. And again, the calendar is only a guide. In a northern garden, garlic may be harvested later than in a warmer southern garden. In a raised bed with loose soil and full sun, garlic may finish sooner. In heavy clay, a low spot, or a cooler microclimate, it may need more time. Even two gardens in the same town can be different. So do not harvest only because someone online said it is time. Look at your plants. Check the soil. Lift a test bulb. Let's quickly put the whole plan together. If your garlic has scapes and the lower leaves are yellowing, first, do not panic. This is often normal. Second, stop high nitrogen feeding. This is not the time to push more leafy growth. Third, remove the scapes while they are young and curled. Fourth, water based on soil moisture. Do not let the bed turn rock hard, but do not keep it swampy either. Fifth, loosen soil only at the surface and avoid damaging shallow roots. Sixth, do not pull off yellowing lower leaves until they are fully dry. Seventh, start watching for harvest timing by checking the leaves and lifting a test bulb. That is the whole system. No magic, no complicated tricks, just more precise care at the right time. Go check your garlic bed today. Do you see curly scapes? Remove them. Are only the lower leaves yellowing while the top leaves still look strong? That may be normal maturity. Is the soil moist a few inches down? Do not water yet. Is it dry deep down and the weather is hot? Water slowly at the base. Are the upper leaves green, the stems firm, and the plants standing strong? Then your garlic is probably doing exactly what it should be doing. Subscribe to the channel for more practical garden tips on garlic, onions, and other backyard crops. I will see you in the garden.